All right, so this is the day before my lip biopsy. Basically, when I say lip biopsy, they basically take out some salivary glands to test for Sjogren syndrome. So Sjogren's syndrome affects your salivary glands. I believe it actually starts to destroy them, so you get dry mouth. And I don't personally have dry mouth. In fact, my mouth salivates so much. When I go to the dentist, they're always complaining about how much it's salivating. But I do have dry eyes, and that's another common symptom of it. And I know some people have been diagnosed with Sjogren's and don't have dry eyes or dry mouth at all. And so we are going to do this test. And it's not a definitive test, but it just adds more information for the doctor to be able to look over it. I'm really nervous because it's pretty intense. They actually cut out, I believe it's like 3 to 4 salivary glands, and you can actually have permanent numbness from this. There's a lot of nerves in the inside of your lip, I think, is where they're gonna take it. And you know, if they nick a nerve, you can have permanent numbness. So I'm a little nervous. I wasn't really told by anyone what would happen. I had to Google it. And according to Johns Hopkins and their Sjogren Center, what happens is they basically take your lip and, you know, pull it around, and then, hi baby, and then a 1/2 inch of your inner lip is cut out, which is insane to me. My little sweetheart. And then you get like 3 to 4 stitches, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if you can hear baby purring, but she's on my lap now. Also, they'll use lidocaine to numb my lip, and I may or may not have a lidocaine allergy. I don't know for sure, but when I used to get Zoladex injections in my stomach, and they had to have 2 lidocaine shots that go in your stomach before they insert this rice-sized capsule into your stomach, and I would get that like every 3 weeks. It was an insane time in my life last year. That was for my endometriosis treatment. When they would inject my stomach with lidocaine, I would start to feel it in my mouth. My mouth would have just like the weirdest feeling. I think it would start to go cold or something. I don't know. It's been a year, so I can't really remember. And so like on the Johns Hopkins thing, it says to tell them if you have a lidocaine allergy. I don't know if I do for sure, but hopefully I remember to say that tomorrow. By the way, this lip biopsy is at 9 a.m. tomorrow. My brain does not fully start functioning until at least noon. So it says that, you know, your lip will be very swollen for the rest of the day. Now, when I called them to make this appointment, they said, no, there is nothing, you know, that you need to be prepared for. Now, according to the Johns Hopkins thing, and I'm not getting this actually at Johns Hopkins, I should make that very clear, I'm just getting it locally. They were like, don't take ibuprofen for 2 weeks before the procedure, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but these are all the things that I have looked up before I go tomorrow. Just to make myself feel better, honestly, because the more I know, the more, you know, I feel like I'm armed with knowledge going in. But I'm pretty nervous, so we shall see. I'm really hoping that it gives us a lot more information, that it's not painful, that it all goes well. I am not allergic to lidocaine, so we shall see. I'm hoping I can vlog tomorrow after the procedure and let you all know how it goes, but I wanted to vlog now in case I can't tomorrow and I don't feel well, so we shall see. All right, let's do this. Next time you see me, I will have had the procedure done, the lip biopsy procedure done. All right, let's do this. Okay, so I just had my lip biopsy done. So funny story, the last clips you saw, I thought I was going into my lip biopsy, and that was just the consult. Nobody told me on the phone. I kept calling being like, so how do I need to prepare for the lip biopsy? They're like, oh, just come in. And then it was just the consult. But today I officially got it done. They took, you know, about like a 1/2 inch kind of swath of salivary glands that were right in here in my inner lip. So I can't feel this. This is numb. They lidocaine 2 shots into my lip here. And then they basically cut out a whole bunch of salivary glands. But my dad is actually in there for the procedure. It was funny because they were, you know, they checked in with me. They're like, so how are you doing? Can you feel anything? No, good. And at some point she was like, so how are you doing, Dad? Because she like wasn't looking at him, and she was like, I've had a lot of family members hit the deck. I thought my dad actually wasn't going to watch the procedure, but he did, and he said it looked like they were taking chunks of hamburger out of my mouth. If that's not unappetizing, I don't know what is. But I was like, oh my gosh, like, did it really freak you out? And he was like, I was sweating at one point. They basically take a scalpel and cut out a bunch of your skin in here. So let me see if I can show you some of the stitches. Yeah, you can see it's cut out there. So the stitch is right there. But basically they just lidocaine you, and then the tech is like holding your lip, and they might have like bruised I think that's a bruise right there because she was like holding it. And so, you know, if she's holding and squeezing, she may not know how hard. Yeah, my numbness is wearing off, so I can feel the stitches inside, but it's still really hard to talk and you can't really understand me. Yeah, basically they just held it like over the whole time while she was cutting. Then they I counted like 3 or 4 stitches that while she was doing. I was like watching, and it was 3 or 4, and they do dissolve, but then they want to see me in about like a week, 10 days, just to see how it's healing, I guess. And this numbness should last a couple of hours, she said. And then I do need to get a prescription mouthwash and use it after every meal and then before bed as well. That is pretty much my experience. She said literally you can just do whatever you want after it. Like you can eat whatever you want, which is crazy, because online I was reading that like you should avoid hard foods and you should only eat soft foods and yada yada yada. But no, they didn't say any of that. It just freaks me out when I'm like looking at myself and I'm like, why is my mouth not moving normally? But I have this lip biopsy results that are going to be coming. Sorry if you can't understand like anything I'm saying this vlog with my fat lip. And then I will have had, or I have had, a Sjogren's like dry eye test done at Johns Hopkins last week. And so hopefully we can take the 2 results of that and put them together to figure out what's going on. I'm going to talk about the Sjogren test results in another video, but the results were not looking good, honestly, and it was not a fun time. That's the thing. In like 1 week, I've had a horrible dry eye test done. I had, you know, a dental cleaning, and teeth and eyes are my 2 big no-nos. I've had so many health issues. I've had surgeries. I've had so many things, and just teeth and eyes are just the 2 things I have no capacity to deal with. Literally out of all of it, the lip biopsy was the most chill, which is hilarious. Like pain I can deal with, but eye touching and teeth touching I cannot deal with. So anyway, that was my experience with a lip biopsy. It really was not that bad. Maybe my tune will change when the numbness, you know, wears off in a couple of hours, and if something, you know, like happens after this, like you can have permanent numbness and stuff like that. So we'll just see. But so far everything went really well. But I definitely think that the stitches rubbing on my inner like gums and my teeth is really going to bother me, I'm not gonna lie. And I think I'm just gonna be rubbing my tongue alongside them, trying to be like, what the heck is this, all the time. So I am going to go eat ice cream, I'm not gonna lie. That is my little treat for just having a stressful couple of days. But I have nothing else scheduled the rest of the day. I do need to edit my vlog, and so that will be what I need to do today. But yet another doctor's appointment scheduled for next week. I try to keep my Tuesdays without anything else so I can film and edit my vlog, because that takes all my energy for a day. And for the past several weeks, months, I have not had that. Maybe the occasional one, but usually it is something every single day, and I am just overwhelmed. I'm in the fight or flight a little bit. My body is just stressed and tired. I've had a headache almost every day, so I'm ready for things to slow down. So baby is crying and scratching at the door, so I gotta go let my daughter in, and then I'm gonna go eat some ice cream, some vegan, gluten-free chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, so first of all, I have my retainer in that I have to wear for 24/7 for the next 2 weeks. But when I said that it wasn't that bad and then it felt fine, I lied. When the numbness wore off, it hurts so bad. It really hurts. I mean, they took like a 1/2-inch strip of skin off. Of course it's gonna hurt. And they didn't really prepare me for that part. Finally did get the prescription mouthwash. There was like a problem in the script they sent to my pharmacy, and they didn't get it for hours. So hopefully it's fine. But anyway, the mouthwash burns because it has alcohol in it. So it like burns the inside of my lip, and it just feels really, it's definitely like swollen now. And it just feels like someone, like, I think it looks bruised too. You can kind of see it there maybe. It just feels like someone like punched me in the face. Hurts so bad. So yeah, I lied when I said it wasn't that bad. It's not that bad with numbing. Without numbing, it hurts so bad. So I've just honestly been sleeping, and I usually don't take naps. So hopefully when I sleep tonight, by tomorrow morning, I will wake up and I will feel great. Fingers crossed. Also, pro tip, do not go to the dentist the day before you get a lip biopsy, because then all your teeth hurt and your lip hurts. It's like your whole, just like everything hurts. I think it's really made my face hurt so much more than it needed to from my teeth cleaning. So, pro tip, don't do that. Anyway, still really hurts. Oh my God, it hurts so much when I smile. Don't let me do that. Also, the stitches chokes. Also, the stitches are like at the end of it. It sticks up so far. When my mouth is closed, it touches the top of my teeth hair. So it's kind of irritating my gum where the stitches are, just like rubbing on it when I talk and stuff. So that hurts too. All right, so it is next morning. I have slept in so late this morning and the pain is a lot better throughout the night. I like to kind of sleep with my hand against my mouth. I don't know, it's just like a comfort thing, like pressed against my mouth. Sorry, I have my retainer and still because I have to wear it 24/7 again. That definitely hurts sometimes and I would like wake up being like, ow. But today there's a lot less pain unless I move my mouth in very specific ways, make a specific face or something. However, I do still have numbing. And she said the numbing would go away in a couple of hours, which is a little concerning. One of the possible side effects from having the procedure done is to have permanent numbing. They like hit a nerve and it just permanently, you know, cuts out the sensory part of your face there. So fingers crossed that I don't have permanent facial numbing, but so far the pain is so much better. And yeah, it was just a rough night after the procedure yesterday, but it's so much better now. So thank goodness. All right, so lip biopsy update. It has been 1 week. I still have numbness like right here. I mean, I can feel pressure, but I can't feel that. So I did go back to see the doctor who did the procedure, and she said that it can take up to a year for nerves to heal, and hopefully this will come back and not be permanent numbness. But it could be permanent numbness, which would really suck. But I just kind of assumed it was permanent numbness and that there wasn't going to be any kind of possibility for nerve healing. So we'll see. So if you see food stuck there, like chocolate, I can't feel it. My dad the other day was like, you have food right here. And I was like, yeah, that's the numb spot. Cannot feel it. It's about 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch. Yeah. So that is one of the kind of things that could happen with this procedure, unfortunately, but I'm really hopeful that this numbness will not be permanent. Now, I do have the results of the procedure. I'm going to do a whole video on that because it's looking like a new diagnosis. So I will let you all know soon, but that is the procedure itself of this salivary gland lip biopsy. So fingers crossed that my lip fully heals. But other than that, the inside of it is mostly healed. It's just this lip numbness. So we'll see. All right. Hopefully this was a helpful video. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon, friends.